Join is a very important topic because data cannot be stored in a single table. It has to be stored across multiple tables. So let's say if I have student information systems, I will have tables like student, attendance, marks. If I have library information system, I'll have one table for books, I have one table for borrowing, one table for returning. So for any domain that I take, let's say hospital management system, there will be one table for patients, another table for doctors, another table for appointments. What would happen if I store something in the same table? It would create anomalies. That is, let's say if I delete particular information, let's say some subject is now outdated, let's say COBOL is outdated. If I store everything in one table itself and I want to delete COBOL's information, if I delete COBOL's information, I'm also deleting the students' information who took the course of COBOL, which I may not want. So for this particular reason, where I would want information to be segregated, I make use of multiple tables. Now, but if I want to retrieve that data from many tables, I make use of joins. So here, so if there is any common column, if there is any related column between the two tables, I make use of it and I retrieve data from two or more tables. Joins can be inner join, left outer join, right outer join, or it can be self join. So the basic joins that we always see are inner join, outer join and self join. Inner join, it will select records that have matching values. Then we have outer join. Under outer we have left outer, right outer and full outer. And then we have self join. So see, let's see the first one, which is inner join. So consider two tables here, department and employee. So department has department name and number and name. Employee has employee number and department number. Department number includes D1 and HR, D2 and finance. Under employee number there is E1, which belongs to department number 1, E2 belongs to department number 2, E3 belongs to department number D1. So whenever I want to do join, always remember join is nothing but a where clause on the Cartesian product. Now what is Cartesian product? Cartesian product means I'm joining one record with every other record. This record with every other record. So the Cartesian product will always give me m into n number of rows. So let's say if there are 3 rows here and 3 rows here, then it is always going to give me 9 records in the Cartesian product result. Here if there are, let's say, some now as you can see here, 2 records here, 3 records here, and in the Cartesian product I see 6 records. Let us see what is the result of this Cartesian product. So D1 HR combined with E1 D1, D1 HR combined with E2 D2, D1 HR combined with E3 D1. Here D2 finance combined with E1 D1, D2 finance combined with E2 D2, D2 finance combined with E3 D1. Now I apply a where clause on this. In our case, the where clause, the common column between the two tables is the department number. So here I pose a condition that wherever the department, this table's department number is equal to this table's department number. So D1 is equal to D1. Here in the second row, D1 D2 not equal. Here in the third row, D1 D1 it is equal. Fourth row not equal. Fifth row it is equal, and the last row it is not equal. So now I get to know what are the department names for these employees. So E1, taking out the filtered records, I will get E1 HR, E3 belongs to HR and E2 belongs to finance. This is one simple example of inner join, which is nothing but Cartesian product and a where clause on the related column. Taking this concept itself further, we have outer join. Now outer join can be, outer join is inclusive of the records which might not match. We will see how do we do that. and the left join returns all records from the left table and the matching records from the right table. The result will be 0 records from the right side if there is no match. That is, if it's not matching, it will not be included, the right hand side table. Let us see one example for the left outer join. So here I have the two tables, and here, see, here I have null and finance. So here in the left outer join, it will give me all matching records for everything else, but here null and finance will also get included because I have specified left outer join. That means the table on the left hand side should have all the the table on the left hand side should have all the records, even though it might be a null, even though it might not match. Let us consider if I just had like D3 and accounts, and here there is no D3, then I will get D3, accounts, null and null. Everything from left hand side table will get included. Coming to the right outer join, in the right outer join, the table 2's, that is the right tables, all records will get included, and the matching records from the left table. So consider here I have a null, even if there was a null in the department number, still it would get included. So even though there is a null here, and this does have a matching record, even if it was null or it was E3 null, still those records will get included. Then there is full outer join. Now in full outer join, the null records from both the side tables will get included. So there is full outer join. As you can see D1, D2 does not have any match. No, here it has to be null. This one has to be null. E2, D2, null. So this will be the correct result here. See, E1, D1. Now D1 has a match, so it will be normally included. E2 does not have a match, still it has to be included. So E2, D2, null and a null. Consider if I have null and a D1. So null, D1, D1 and HR. This is also included. And finally, when it comes, so these were all the records that were there in employee table, and in the department table there is this null, finance, null and null. So this is one extra record. Consider if I have inner join, then I will only get this particular record as the result. If I have full outer join on the employee, I will get this record and this record. If I have outer join if I have outer join on the department, that is if I say department left outer join, then I will get this first record and the fourth record. Full outer join basically combines the result from inner join, left outer join and right outer join, and that is full outer join. So it's basically like the number of records in employee table plus the number of records in the department table minus how many ever are the matching records in the inner join. So here in our case it is 1. So I will have 3 plus 2, 5 records minus the number of records in the matching join, and that is 1. The next one is self join. Now a self join is a regular join, but the table is joined with itself. So let us consider one example. If I have employee number, name and the manager ID. So now as we can see here, E1 John null, E2 Jacob E1. So Jacob's manager is John, Alice's manager is Jacob. So let us see, I am looking for information, the manager name and the employee. Who are the corresponding employees? So I perform a join between the two tables. Now a self join is something like you can consider two copies of the same table. So here I have the employee number, name, manager ID. Again consider another copy of the same table, employee number, name and the manager ID. Now I pass the condition with on the self join that now I create two aliases of the table and I say E1 dot employee number. I want to match one table's employee number with another table's manager ID. So I'm basically looking for E1 dot E number. So E1 is going to give me all the employee details, and in E2 that employee has to be the manager. So I am giving the that is who is the employee and the manager. This is the manager and this is the employee details, manager and the employee. So this table is basically giving me manager employee pairs. So it's giving me all the employees and their corresponding managers. So this shows me the manager details and this shows me the employee details. So here let us see what is happening. I say E1 dot E number, this has to be matched with this. So as we can see, E1 E2 is matching with this E1 E2. So that is why I am getting E1 John so here it gives me E1 John null, E1 John null and matched with E2 Jacob E1. So John is managing Jacob. E2 Jacob E1 is matched with this particular record, E3 Alice E2. That means Jacob is managing Alice. So this is basically a table that gives me manager and employee pairs. So this is with self join, where I consider two copies of the same table, put the matching column, and then I'll get either employee manager pairs or manager employee pairs depending upon the condition that I'm giving in. If I would have given E1 dot manager ID equal to E2 dot employee number, so in that case it would have been employee manager pair.